Hey guys, I'm Brant Waldeck. I'm a photographer. I'm probably the best photographer I know. So you're probably gonna wanna listen? Yeah, cut that, that's no good. We'll use that for an outtake. Hey guys, I'm Brant, and I'm here today to talk to you about low-key photography. We'll talk about how we set up the lights, we'll talk about lens selection, we'll talk about location selection, and we'll show you everything you need to know to go out and shoot great low-key photographs. Guys, you know, low-key photographs really work well with guys with beards. And I was thinking maybe I could be, what do you think? The model?
Yeah, your beard? Yeah.
What?
That'd be great.
What? Fine. All right, guys, so we're going to use 3 lights today. The first one is going to be our background light. I'm going to show you back here. We have a blue gel on this light. You can experiment with whatever gel colors you want. We're going to try that to try and cool off the background a little bit, but we could warm it up. We could add different colors. Whenever you're in a shoot, make sure you always try different things because you know everybody there is creative and wants a good product, and sometimes you stumble onto things that you didn't think were going to work, but they actually do work really well. Now, underneath this gel is a 20-degree grid on a 7-inch parabolic. So that's going to throw the light, you know, fairly directly where I want it to go. The 20-degree grid is going to keep the light from spilling side to side. We do not want this light to spill on our subject that's going to be over here, and I'll show you that in a second. So we use that 20-degree grid to keep it from doing that and to control how much of it hits the wall. This light here is going to light one side of our subject. In this light, we've got double diffusion. We also have a grid on this, which does the same thing. I want this light to be channeled in that direction. I don't want it spilling on the background. I don't want it spilling on the floor if we're doing a wider shot. So we use these grids to kind of mitigate that to a degree. We have another light here. So this light scenario, we're going to light both sides of the subject, and we're going to move these lights in and out to see how that affects the shadows on the face. And depending on the look you're going for, you may want them further out, you may want to light the face a little more, you may want less of the face lit. The side light tends to catch the beard hair, and I know my beard isn't quite good enough, but you know, our guy, he's gonna have plenty, so anyway, I think I would have done okay, but anyway. Okay guys, so let's take a look at what we're gonna do with the camera today. There's a lot of ways to do this. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. You're going to hear me say this 100 times in all my videos. There's no one right way to do these. But for this first shot, I'm going to try to do it a little bit wider. I'm going to use a 35mm on full frame. I've got a 5D Mark IV here, and I've got the Sigma 35mm art lens. So that allows me, if I want to really open that f-stop up and get some really cool bokeh and blur and effect and artsy effect on the shots. But for the wide shot, I'm probably going to pull it back. And again, we'll adjust this as we go, but I'm probably going to pull it back in the range of, you know, f5.6 to f6.3 to f8, and depending on what we want to do. Mostly because I'm trying to bring the exposure down of any ambient in the room. So I don't want the ambient in the room to be too bright because this is a low-key shot. As far as my shutter speed, you know, we can run in that, since we're not doing a moving subject, we can run from 1/125th up to 1/200th, and before we don't have to do any high-speed sync or anything with our flashes. And then ISO, obviously I'm not going to leave it at 3200. I'm probably going to lower it back down in that 200 to 400 range. And again, it all depends on the ambient. All right, guys, so the first step is I've got all my lights turned off. And I'm just going to take a shot with what we've got in the room with the settings that I have on the camera. Right now I'm at 1/125th shutter. I'm at f4, so I did go a little lower than I originally thought because it is pretty dark in this space. And I'm at 800 ISO, which this camera handles perfectly fine. It's going to look fantastic. So the first thing I'll do, this is our wider shot. I'll grab this shot here, okay? And as you guys can see, that shot gives me just enough of the detail in the background, just enough of that detail that when I start lighting things, I'll have a little bit of reference of what's in the shadows, and that's really what I'm looking for. You can see here that in the histogram, we do have a little something. It's not pushed all the way to the edge. Not everything's in the black. I don't mind on these kind of photos if some of the stuff is falling off to black, but I need some of those details in the background so I know what I'm looking at. And we always shoot raw, by the way, so you're always able to pull anything that's on the bottom of that histogram can be pulled up and seen well enough for this type of a shot. first we're going to take a test shot. I set my strobes kind of in the middle of the road. We could use a light meter in this situation, but given that we can see it on the back of the camera and make quick adjustments, I typically just set them where I know they're going to be somewhat close, and then we make adjustments from that point. So let's take a look at the first shot. Okay guys, so as you're looking at this photo, we took our first shot. We know right away that we've got way too much light coming in at this point. Our lights are too far in front. They're lighting his entire face and his entire front, and we're getting a little too hot of a light there. So we got to do two things here. We got to dial our lights down. With this picture, I'm probably going to take them down a couple stops, and we're going to move those lights back a little bit so less of the light is falling on his face. This light right here is now literally behind him, right? So it's going to spill around the face. It's going to create a totally different look. This light is a little more in front, and I may adjust that back just a little bit, right? So it's behind him. The next step that we're going to do, these were both set at a certain power range, so we're going to drop them down 2 stops. So if you could turn that down to 2, please. All right. Now we're going to try another one, and we're going to take a look at that. And yeah, this is great. So if I'm looking at this picture, I really like it a lot. I think if I took this into Photoshop, I could do quite a bit with it. It has an edgy enough look. It has a nice enough look to it. But on that photo, I see a little bit of darkness under his hat that I really want to make that show up just a little bit more in the photo, in camera. So we added an additional light, and we put a parabolic dish on it so none of the light would spill backwards. We're bouncing it off of here, and what that does is introduce kind of a wide, soft, ambient light source over here to get a little more fill on his face without me having to change something in the camera to show more of it. And I think you're going to see the results of this. It really sharpens up the image. It really looks great. All right, guys, so we got one really good shot. Really happy with that. We'll take that into Photoshop later, and we'll have even more fun with it. So I said before, we're going to change.
Seconds on the location.
Well, yeah. Did I forget?
You told him that you would.
Fine. All right. So, yes, this location. All right, we picked this location because we wanted kind of a gritty backdrop look, and we have these great worn wood floors, and we've got this brick back here, this old brick, and these big exposed, rough cut beams, and it's just a great spot to shoot a low-key shot and this style of a shot. It all boils down to learn the basics of the setup that you want and then adjust it. Don't ever be afraid to try new things. Always go out there and experiment, get people that can help you learn, and you'll be able to shoot shots just like this. I could have been the model for this, see? See, my beard's cool, right? Right, guys? Anyone? Hey guys, this is Waldeck. I'm the best photographer in the world, or soon to be. Yeah, cut, that's too much.